ceremonies, eventually, the church will need lots of seats and pews. But otherwise, well, what they use now, normally, is the altar behind the main one. Like they did in St. Peter's yesterday. I don't know, James. Actually, there are lots of people that come to church here instead of the parish church. And those are the columns of the alabaster I was telling you about. And look how precious, everybody, the ones that come from Egypt. Yes, those 4 columns. And normally, the first thing that the people wonder about as soon as they come in is how to put a church like this, with all the stones, and so on, burned down almost completely, as she said. Well, because originally the ceiling was not the way we sit now. It was like a keel of a boat cast down, completely wood, and there was a storm. In June, there was a storm, and the lightning hit the roof, that started burning. The columns did not burn, they cracked, they collapsed, and so they crumbled. So all this part was destroyed, and they had to rebuild it. And this is the part that was rebuilt again, like the ancient law courts buildings. How you get in the atmosphere, I was mentioning to you, everybody, part of this floor. So either they had mosaic floors, but have you noticed that even at the Pantheon marble slabs, they were a bit more colorful, but it depended, This is the type of pavement, that they had, if they did not have mosaics. So this sort of different slabs of marble. In the Roman times, probably the atmosphere was not exactly that quiet because it was also marketplaces. There were money exchange bureaus 2,000 years ago in the basilicas. So you can imagine, there was very crowded. And where now we have the altar, how we can imagine the judge administrating justice, because as I was saying, the basilicas in the ancient times, they were law courts buildings. Who are the people in when they rebuilt it, they wanted to from the artistic point of view, they're not that important, but they wanted to put them there because those are a good example of what happened in Rome after the downfall of the Roman Empire, when the east of the Roman Empire, the seat of the Roman Empire was moved to the east, due to Constantine, and Constantinople became the nowadays Istanbul became the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire. Rome started losing its personality as far as art was concerned. We start getting this influence from the Byzantine world. So all those mosaics of the 5th century, they were done by local artists, not even the finest of the local artists. You see how folkloristic everything is. Look how colorful those wings and so on, But those artists, they must have been so impressed by those icons. They were starting circulating here in Rome. And so they copied one of them. You see that Christ in the middle? Doesn't fit in the rest, art-wise. So a completely different style altogether, because that Christ is Byzantine. It's a Byzantine Christ. So it comes from an icon. And now you see, it's Byzantine in the way the erratic expression, the Christ at top of the. You see the way he's giving the blessing? We do this. The Pope would do this, the 3 fingers like this. The priest would do this, giving the blessing, would not close his hand. And you see inside what he's doing? This is the Orthodox way. Oh, okay.
Interesting.
This is the Orthodox way. So that Christ is really it's a really Byzantine. And so they keep it because they were so intrigued, those Romans, to see the first appearance, of this Byzantine work. And from that moment, so we can say that those are the last Romans and the first, with the first Byzantine influence. Then I'm about to point out to the last Byzantine work in Rome, which is Indians. Because they were
That's interesting. Do you remember the name of the church? I don't remember. What is it? Do you remember the name of it? I don't. I can't tell you anything about it. Don't believe me. I like the alabaster. I like the Byzantine influence. Oh, look at that. The Christ. He doesn't look very happy. No. It actually has in Egypt also, see the wings? See the wings up there? It looks like a Hura Mazda, but also Egypt had some kind of bird god too. So it's not Roman. Yeah, she's totally right. Yeah, it's cool.
Fossils.
Do you think the windows are alabaster? Probably not, because it's so expensive. We bought that.
Other ways of putting those medallions.
Oh, Easter candle.
That's dating back to 10 very primitive by some artists. They were really trying to express themselves again, after those dark ages when art, we have gone backwards. If you compare those carvings with the ones we have seen on the column, it looks like that we are 1,000 years backwards. It's because of hard times, people forgot. They did not have the mind for art. So we went, we became less civilized under
Emilia, I wanted to
this
ask you,
aspect.
out front, the Paul, St. Paul statue, it has a winged bull on the bottom. What does that signify? Do you know?
A winged bull?
A cow or a bull with horns and stuff. It looks like it has wings on the side.
St. Mark's.
No.
The wings is
When
normally
we
St.
first
Mark's.
came in,
Yeah.
right there, the one in the corner.
Show us when we go out.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yes, because
The chain.
Has the chain.
They all have a chain.
the train up
So the statue, as you're walking in, there's a chain right by the fountain, and there's a bull.
We have to see when we go out. Show us when we go out.
No, because this is not in the iconography of Paul, something like this.
Well, the
so-
chain is, certainly.
No, the
And the
chain.
scroll.
Huh?
Or
The scrolls,
wrote the
yes.
book.
Yes, the scrolls, yes. And then a sword.
No, he had a pen in his hand.
He had a pen in his hand, a scroll in one hand.
Right,
pen in
right.
the other.
Yes,
Right,
because he
and
wrote his
writing,
lecture. This
while
for
he was
sure.
in chains.
This is the.
But there was a bull on the bottom.
And a chain on
They
his
chained his
feet.
foot.
Right.
These are the chains might be what the equivalent is of those chains here. Because here we have the chains that kept Paul in prison by the Roman Forum, in the official prison, state prison of the ancient Rome.
Yeah.
So from where it was taken to be martyred, to be beheaded. And so recently, those chains they have always been in the basilica, but somewhere else, inside, indoors, in the convent. But now, for this special event, the year 2008, they brought them out and they exhibited them there. So symbolizing that he had been imprisoned in Rome before he was killed, he was martyred. So the tomb of Paul, everybody, is under the altar. You see the coffin, that pink coffin? So behind the fence, on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Now, there was a controversy about that coffin being so up above the level of the ancient Rome. And you see, in fact, down below, here in the foreground, what it is lit up, just before the fence with the tombs. There are some restorations, some recent restorations. This is not only some tombs, of the pagan times, but also the level of the Roman road, the scales of road. And the tomb is much higher. So they thought for a certain time, that the tomb had been moved, and replaced here, in a later period. No, apparently it never moved. Was we are very close to the Tiber. Here, really outside here, and the fear of those floods, telling you about already the early Christians, for protection, they put the tomb on an higher level. So it was just meant to be that way, just to be washed away by some of those floods. And another beautiful thing that you can notice when you come to me is the canopy. The canopy is one of the very few works that we have in the Gothic. And it's by Arnolfo di Camillo, who was the most famous of the Gothic style architects and sculptors. And surprisingly enough, this canopy was untouched by the fire. So, yes, incredible, yes. Because the fire attacked all of this section of the church, but not this behind me. Okay, behind the canopy, which is crowning this paper altar. And you know what is interesting about this canopy? That this is the first one that was meant to be staying put.
Oh, really?
Yes, because until those days, the canopies were removable. You see, they were taken in possession, just and so they were just covering the shrines, things like this, but they were not put on the altars. So with this one, they decided to, sort of shelter the relics by leaving the
So is
canopy.
this part of the church original?
This part of the church is original, which obviously had been refurbished through the centuries. But when I say original, everybody, wait a minute, because I will say to you that this church was built in the 4th century after Christ, 329 after Christ. And in those days, nor the Roman basilicas, the law courts buildings of the Roman times, nor the early Christian churches that were built after the Roman law court building had this, the cross arm. The transept, of the churches is only an addition of the Renaissance time. Okay, so otherwise the original building would have continued with its pillars and with its columns all the way to the apse. Okay, and then this apse. So this is original, but this is the addition of the Renaissance times. Okay, so and in fact the pictures that you see here, they are mannerist work. So the end of the 1500s, and the beginning of the 1600s, not such famous times for you, but the people that were watching now instead. Ricardo is already there by the lights. He wants us to be ready to look at this mosaic. So if you all come up, because the light doesn't last very long, I'm afraid, to enjoy this incredibly important mosaic. This is original, dating back to the 13th century, the end of the 13th century, the end of the 1200s. We know that in those days, Giotto was in Rome. And I'm mentioning Giotto because all those mosaics were done by Byzantine artists. Because the Pope Honorius that wanted to have the church refurbished, he had heard about those mosaic works in Venice, those Byzantine artists that had been working in Venice for the Basilica of Mars. He was going to press a lot. So he wanted, something very similar to be here in his church. And those Byzantine artists, because they were from the East, those artists, they, when they arrived in Rome, they could not help but get influenced, by this atmosphere of the Renaissance that was starting to germinate in Rome. Giotto. Can you imagine what kind of influence this incredibly important, artist could have on them? And in fact, you notice that Christ is still Byzantine. You see the way he's giving the blessing,
Yes.
But first of all, it's not as hierarchical, not much sweeter is his expression. Secondly, look at the perspective. You see the knees? How does the character? And not only the chair. Looks like one of those chose, Giotto set his Madonnas on. And another thing that those Byzantine artists, they got